In this video, I'm going to share with you the strategy that I use to evolve from 4 figures per month to 6 and sometimes 7 figures per month. Back in the day, I got into SEO for the obvious reasons, because I'm a freaking nerd. I was sitting in my cubicle at my engineering job one day and my coworker told me about this magic make money online scheme called search engine optimization, SEO. So I was like, yo, you're telling me there's a way to get paid lots of money by applying these SEO skills that they somehow don't teach you in school, but you have to learn it by digging around the internet like it's some secret dark art of passive income generation? He was like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Then I said, dope, where do I start? So then I started to learn and perfect my craft. The keyword here is perfection. I got things down to a science. I knew exactly how many words to write my articles, how frequent I needed to type each semantic entity and relevant keywords, exactly what backlinks needed to be built and when, and I got results. But I got slow results, like sloth level. I mean, sure, my sites were getting more traffic each month and I was making more money, but it wasn't even close to the majestic traffic boners that I'm getting these days. In hindsight, here's what the problem was. There's this smart guy you might have heard of called Winston Churchill that once said, perfection is the enemy of progress. Voltaire said something similar with, the best is the enemy of the good. By trying to make everything that I do absolutely perfect, I was slowing down how much work I actually got done. Google loves perfect articles, no doubt. But if you can only achieve perfection at a massive cost to your output, then, homie, you're too slow. Think of it like this. Let's say a perfect piece of content is worth 10 SEO points. If you got 4 of these done in a month, then you'd end up with 40 SEO points at the end of the month. Now let's say a good piece of content is worth 8 SEO points, and you can knock out 10 of these in a month. That's 80 SEO points. You're now making twice as much progress. The thing is, it's not just about content. It's about everything you do in SEO. The links you build, how you structure a site, all of it. There's an efficient way to get the most out of your SEO efforts, and it's here where I'm going to focus on in this video. I'm going to show you 5 areas of SEO where people are overthinking and what you really need to do instead. But real quick, I wanted to let you know that my course, the Affiliate Lab, is on sale this Black Friday for 50% off. So if you want to join 5,000 successful affiliate marketers and search engine professionals that are crushing it with this training, here's your chance. And as a bonus, I'm throwing in a brand new course I made on personal branding. Just bookmark the link in the pinned comment and come back on Black Friday. Let's start with the category of niche selection. If you're building your own websites, as with affiliate marketing, lead generation, rank and rent, niche selection is hands down the most important step in the process. So it makes sense why people would overthink this step. I get it, but tell me if this sounds like you. You decide to start an affiliate website and make a bunch of cash. So you begin niche research to find that perfect niche. You stumble upon a good one, car radar detectors. They have private affiliate programs and the niche has low competition. So you run the numbers and everything checks out great. Then you start looking for a domain name. But all of a sudden, then you start to think, maybe I can do better. So you go back to your computer. Perhaps car batteries are the juice. So you run the numbers, love it, but eventually decide against it. And 6 months later, you've done nothing. Here's what you should have done instead. Always start with a macro niche. A topic like cars in general that is big enough to develop into an authority site. Register a domain like autofanatic.com and just get started. From there, you can start with radar detectors, car batteries, car covers, really doesn't matter. You can always pivot if you find that your micro niche isn't lucrative. You just need to get started building links and producing content. As we saw with the Yandex source code leak, the age of your links is a ranking factor for search engines. And with the concept of topical authority, which we'll get to soon, it's not just about how well you cover your topic, but how long you cover it for. So you want to get started ASAP. Speaking of topical authority, that's the next area where people are crippling themselves. If you're now just hearing about this concept of topical authority, this is going to blow your mind. So the concept works like this. Let's say you want to become a topical authority on the topic of cars. If you write just a few articles on cars, Google's going to say,
I don't give a fuck.
But once you start to cover all the car topics on the planet, like your friends' radar detectors and batteries, but also how to maintain a car, buying cars, selling cars, all of it, then Google has no choice but to say, damn, this website is a topical authority on cars. And that's when you end up with a full mass traffic boner like this. So it's obvious to see that you need to focus on publishing content and fast. And you know what gets in the way of that? Being a giga nerd like I was and trying to do everything freaking perfect.
Perfect. Everything.
Some examples of this are, I'm not going to publish any articles unless it gets a Surfer content score of 100. Surfer is my #1 recommended content optimization tool and it's part of my everyday SEO process. And I'm not just saying this because I'm an investor. I absolutely love the tool and the results it gives. But even the team at Surfer only recommends a Surfer score of 75 or more and then moving on. Another fallacy is thinking that you need to write longer content than your competition to outrank them. Yo, that's not how it works. It used to be the case that you could just write longer content than your competition competition and you would just brute force smash your way to the top of Google. But that's just not how it is anymore. Some searches can just be answered with a few words, and Google knows that. They don't want their users to have to read a 10,000 word article just to find out how damn old Harry Potter is now. All you need to do is open up the first article on Google and use a free plugin like Detailed to tell you what is the word count of the article already at the top of Google for your keyword. It's clearly the right length, otherwise Google wouldn't put it at number 1. Another way to overly nerd out is with schema markup. Schema, also known as structured data, is code that you put in your article to tell Google exactly what your content is about. No doubt, it's good, but you can spend longer than it took to even write the article geeking out over the bajillion different types of schema that can be added to each article. What you want to do is create a template that you can use over and over again for each different type of article. For example, your product review content would get a specific template, and so would your informational content. As an example, here's a schema template that we recommend for informational content in my course, The Affiliate Lab. Another place where SEOs sacrifice progress for perfection is with website architecture. Trust me, I love a nice, clean, hierarchical website structure as much as the next guy. You got your homepage here at the top, linking down to the categories and pillar content below, which links down to your more refined support topics. And this structure works fine when you have an 18-page website. Here's what happens when your website is just 60 pages, which is going to be pretty damn fast if you're going for Topical Authority. You start to think, damn, this blog post on where to buy reliable car parts is pretty damn relevant to my article on car batteries. I want to interlink them. Or this random article here just gathered 50 backlinks and I want to use that power to rank my article on radar detectors. And these situations are going to happen a lot, and this super clean architecture goes out the window in no time. When it comes to interlinking, you want to create some simple rules and live by them and them alone. Link relevant pages and link to pages you want to rank. That's it. The rest will figure itself out. The next area of overthinking is link building. Here's the wrong way to build links. Ooh, here's a car website. Maybe I should try to get a link from these guys. Let's open up its backlink report in Ahrefs and make sure all the links are clean. Oh great, a bunch of DR90s, those are probably good. But what's this? A coupon site? Will that hurt me if I get a link from these guys? And oh my god, a link from a Chinese website? This has got to be toxic. And people are doing all this analysis before they even know if the website wants to link to them in the first place. When you're trying to decide if you want a link from a website, your best friend is metrics. And really, you only need a few of them. First, traffic greater than 1,000 visitors per month. Google ignores links that it thinks are spammy. You want to make sure that the links you build aren't going to be in this ignore bucket. At the same time, only 9.37% of websites get traffic. By focusing on getting links from websites with traffic, you diminish your odds of getting an ignored link. Second, domain rating of 20 or higher. Anything less just isn't powerful enough to be worth your time. Well, I guess that's subjective, but it certainly isn't worth my time. And lastly, is it relevant? But this is a nice to have, not a must have. You're not going to turn down a link from the New York Times because it's not a car blog. Now that you've done an initial filtering, go ahead and mass email a huge list of sites that meet your criteria. It's only when you get a reply where you'll do the extra fine detailed steps that take time, like running a site:/domain name casino command to see if they're linking out to a bunch of gambling sites, or running Screaming Frog to see if they're leaving their guest post pages orphaned with no links. Alternatively, you could just skip all this by using a link building vendor like Authority Builders and saving all the time. The next category of perfection at the cost of progress is the worst of all, and that's when it completely prevents you from starting your SEO journey in the first place. Seasoned SEO veterans know exactly what I'm talking about. How many times have you seen, hey guys, what's the best WordPress theme in the SEO Facebook groups? It's at least in the millions. Or when you see SEO newbies paralyzed by needing to understand freaking voice search and latent semantic indexing before they even start a website. The best way to learn SEO is to do SEO. If you try to understand it all before you start, you'll never start. SEO changes every day, and even I'm having to continuously learn. That's why I designed my course, The Affiliate Lab, to be sequential. You'll learn about niche selection, you select a niche. You learn about domains and hosting, you buy a domain and you host it. You learn about keyword research, and you know where this is going. Don't forget to jump on the Affiliate Lab, 50% off this Black Friday. Link in the pinned comment.